When you're the one who pulls the plug on your own joy. You get close to happiness, and then you shut down. You feel excited about something, and suddenly convince yourself it won't last. You start to feel good, safe, maybe even loved. And that's exactly when you start to pull away. Sound familiar? This isn't drama. This isn't attention seeking. This isn't being too emotional. This is self-sabotage. And it happens more often than we talk about, especially among women who've been through pain, betrayal, or emotional abandonment. You might not even realize you're doing it. It looks like canceling plans at the last minute, taking fights with someone who treats you well, distracting yourself the moment something feels calm, sabotaging your own routines, progress, or goals. Avoiding joy because it feels too good to be true. And deep down, you hear the voice. This won't last. I don't deserve this. Something's going to go wrong. Better end it before it ends on me. So what do? You withdraw. You detach. You escape before you can get hurt. You ruin it before someone else can. And the worst part? You blame yourself. You call yourself weak, unstable, ungrateful. But that's not the truth. Here's the truth. You are not broken. You are scared. Not of the pain, but of the joy. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that joy is dangerous. That feeling good only comes before the crash. That happiness is a setup for disappointment. Let's go deeper. Self-sabotage is not a personality trait. It's a protection strategy. It's your mind saying, I've been hurt before. I won't let that happen again. If I lower the joy now, I'll control the fall later. If I ruin it first, at least it'll be on my terms. That's why joy makes you uncomfortable. It's not the joy itself, it's what your nervous system associates with it. Letting your guard down equals danger. Being vulnerable equals exposure. Feeling loved equals possible abandonment. Being seen equals risk of rejection. So your brain decides, shut it down. It's safer that way. You're not crazy. You're not difficult. You're not hopeless. You're someone who has been let down so many times. Your body no longer trusts stability. You crave peace, but when it comes, you push it away. Because survival feels more familiar than safety. And let's be real. This belief didn't come from nowhere. Maybe you grew up walking on eggshells. You were punished for being too happy or too free. You watched love turn cold without warning. You were made to feel guilty for enjoying life. You experienced trauma in moments that were supposed to be joyful. So now joy feels unsafe. And your system rushes in to protect you from the very thing you want most. But here's what I need you to hear. You don't sabotage because you're weak. You sabotage because your body remembers. Purple circle, it remembers the pain that followed happiness. Purple circle, it remembers the abandonment that followed love. Purple circle, it remembers the silence that followed trust. You're not trying to ruin your life. You're trying to protect your heart. In the next topic, we'll explore the psychological and neurological reasons why self-sabotage becomes an emotional habit, and what's really going on in your brain when joy feels unsafe. You're not the enemy of your happiness. You are the survivor of your fear. Why your brain rejects joy. The science of self-sabotage. You don't wake up and say, today, I think I'll ruin the good things in my life. But somehow, it happens. You push people away. You break routines that were working. You talk yourself out of peace and back into chaos. Why? Not because you're broken. Not because you're addicted to pain. But because your brain is trying to protect you from joy, Let's break this down. 1. Your brain's number one job is not happiness, it's survival. And survival means avoiding pain, even at the cost of missing joy. So when your brain notices a pattern like, every time I felt safe, something bad happened. When I loved deeply, I was left. When I succeeded, I was punished. It starts preemptively sabotaging similar situations. Not to hurt you, to shield you. It's like your brain says, joy equals danger. Shut it down. 2. The brain loves what's familiar even if it's toxic. If chaos was your norm growing up, your brain associates chaos with safety. So when peace shows up, it feels foreign, wrong, unsettling. It's like walking into a quiet room after years of noise. You can't relax. You're waiting for the crash. This is called homeostasis, your body seeking its normal, even if normal is pain. 3. The inner critic becomes a saboteur. If you grew up with harsh voices from others or yourself, you likely developed a strong inner critic. You don't deserve this. You'll mess it up anyway. Don't get your hopes up. This voice sounds like truth, but it's a protection mechanism. If you lower your expectations, the fall won't hurt as much. So you pre-ruin what you love, because disappointment is familiar. But joy? That feels like walking a tightrope with no net. 4. Dopamine and emotional safety are linked. Dopamine is your motivation and pleasure chemical. But when you're stuck in survival mode, dopamine becomes dysregulated. This means you don't trust reward. You don't feel motivated to enjoy. You undercut your own progress. You don't get the positive feedback loop your brain needs to build new habits. So when something good happens, your brain doesn't say, let's do more of this. It says, let's prepare for the loss. 5. You learn to sabotage from experience. This is the hardest truth. Self-sabotage is a learned behavior. Maybe you watch someone close to you give up on themselves. Maybe your success was mocked or punished. Maybe joy was always interrupted by a parent's outburst, or someone's silence, or your own fear. So now joy feels unsafe, and your brain is just repeating what it was taught. But what was learned can be unlearned. Light bulb, big picture. You don't ruin good things because you want to suffer. You ruin them because you don't trust they'll last. Because joy feels unstable. Because your nervous system has been trained to expect pain. And that's not your fault. But it is your responsibility to interrupt the cycle. In the next topic, I'll tell you the story of someone who spent years destroying anything that looked like happiness, until she realized what she was really running from was herself. You are not your sabotage. You are the healing that comes after it. The woman who couldn't let herself be happy. Her name was Clara. To the outside world, she looked calm, organized, smart, put together. But Clara had a secret. Every time something good entered her life, she quietly destroyed it. Not on purpose. Not because she wanted to suffer, but because deep down, joy made her panic. When she got into a healthy relationship, she started pulling away. When her career was finally going well, she stopped answering emails. When someone gave her a sincere compliment, she changed the subject or laughed it off. When she started to feel at peace, she created chaos, arguments, avoidance, distraction. Why? Because Clara didn't trust joy. She didn't trust rest. She didn't trust love that didn't come with pain. She had grown up in a home where silence was always followed by yelling. where happy moments ended in shame, where closeness felt like a trap. So her body remembered. Her nervous system believed. If it feels good, it's about to get worse. So she beat life to the punch. She left before she could be left. She shut down before anyone could shut her out. She ruined it so no one else would have the power to. But here's the tragedy. Clara didn't want to lose these things. She grieved them deeply. After each self-inflicted wound, she would cry alone in her room. Tell herself she had messed it all up again. Call herself names. Dramatic, ungrateful, broken. But she wasn't any of those things. She was terrified. Terrified of being seen, being loved, having hope, trusting joy and watching it disappear. This is the invisible cost of self-sabotage. You lose good people. You miss growth opportunities. You burn bridges you wanted to keep. You replay old patterns with new faces. You confirm the fear. See? I knew I'd ruin it. But the truth is, you didn't ruin it. Fear did. Fear that came from real pain. Fear that once protected you, but now controls you. One day, Clara sat with a therapist and said, "Why do I always destroy the good things in my life?" And the therapist replied, "Because no one ever taught you how to feel safe inside happiness." That sentence cracked something open. Clara didn't need more discipline. She didn't need more routines, goals, or advice. She needed safety. Emotional safety. The kind that says, you're allowed to feel good. You don't have to apologize for peace. Joy isn't a setup, it's your right. So she started doing something radical. She let joy stay. In small ways. She received compliments without deflecting. She paused to breathe when she felt panic during calm moments. She wrote, "Joy is not dangerous every morning." She whispered, "I don't have to ruin this when things went well." And slowly, her nervous system began to believe her. If you see yourself in Clara, if you've been destroying the very things you prayed for, please hear this. You're not cursed. You're not too damaged to be happy. You're not your past. You're a survivor relearning what it means to feel good and let it stay. In the next topic, I'll walk you through practical tools to stop sabotaging your joy and retrain your mind to receive peace without guilt or fear. Because joy was never the threat, only the unfamiliar. How to finally let joy stay. Tools to stop the cycle. You've spent years trying to protect yourself from disappointment. But in doing so, you've also blocked joy. So now, we begin again not with pressure, but with permission. Not by chasing happiness, but by allowing it to stay. Here's how. Stop sign 1. Interrupt the pattern before it starts. The moment you feel the urge to pull away from something good, pause. Don't run. Just pause. Say out loud, "This is the moment I usually sabotage. This discomfort is not danger. I can feel good without fear." Name the moment. Interrupt the habit. Give your brain something new to believe. Writing in 2. Rewire your inner script. Old belief, if I get too happy, something bad will happen. New belief, I'm allowed to feel safe in joy. Every day, write this sentence by hand. I am allowed to feel good, and let it last. Repetition is repair. Let the words become muscle memory. Let them reach the parts of you that still flinch when things feel calm. Speed balloon 3. Practice joy exposure in microdoses. If joy feels overwhelming, shrink it. Start with 10-second moments of safety. Breathe deeply and say, This is okay. Smile, just for yourself. Accept a compliment with a simple thank you. Let silence be soft instead of scary. Like reintroducing food after illness, you are reintroducing peace. Not all at once, just enough to build trust. Yellow Heart 4. Use emotional anchors. Pick a physical gesture that means, I am safe in this moment. Examples: hand over heart, touching your wrist gently, pressing your feet into the ground. Do this every time joy shows up. Pair it with breath. Pair it with presence. This tells your nervous system, we're not in danger. We're home. Woman in lotus position guided visualization. Let joy stay. Close your eyes. Take a deep, soft inhale. Now imagine a gentle golden light entering your body with each breath. Not loud, not overwhelming, just warm. It moves through your chest, your shoulders, your spine. It's not forcing anything. It's not asking anything. It's just joy. Quiet, honest, soft. You don't have to reach for it. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to fear it. Let it stay, just for this moment. Let your body remember what it's like to feel good and not run away. Whisper to yourself, I am allowed to feel this. Joy is not a trap. I don't have to ruin it. I am safe in happiness. Breathe again. And smile, just a little. You've spent enough time surviving. Now it's time to live. Not in fear, not in armor, but in truth, presence, and peace. If this message touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who self-sabotages without realizing, and subscribe for weekly healing content. You are not too damaged for joy. You are ready for it now. Let it stay.